I'm so happy to speak with my favorite almost legal eagle again. I can tell you that. Jason, this performance as Cary Grant, Archibald Leach, this is award worthy. You blew my mind.
That's very kind, Damien. Obviously, I'm an actor, so I'm a bottomless pit of need for praise. But the truth is that, first of all, I don't look anything like myself due to the extraordinary work of Liz Headley, the makeup and hair designer. So I've got a different face, I've got different eyes, got different hair, and then the costumes were all made by the greatest tailors in the world in Savile Row. So there's that, and then there's and I've got different eyes in everything. But mostly there's the script informed by incredibly brave revelations, frankly, from Diane Cannon, who was taking on one of the most popular icons in the world.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore in 2023, but by telling us really that when he shut the front door and got home offset, he was the polar opposite of everything the world knows about him. And all those things as an actor allow you to both surprise and shock and upset and disturb the audience. And I'm the only person talking to you, so I get the credit for really a lot of people doing extraordinary work.
I have to tell you, Jason, you did not make this a mimicry or a caricature of the Cary Grant that everybody knows and loves from on screen. You infuse this with so much humanity, flaws and all, but you give us, in order for it to not to be a mimicry, it's just touches that are and I'm sure that you were doing this, but it comes across as effortless, like the hand in the pocket. Hand in the pocket, or the way Cary would take his glasses off. And I'm looking at that, and I was mesmerized, because those little touches were just those little things. You think Cary Grant.
Well, I mean, that's very kind of you, but well, first of all, the most important thing to me, I tried to hold on to the most important thing to me being to be emotionally truthful. This incredibly damaged, abused, neglected child, for whom those scars, those wounds only got wider and deeper as the world fell in love with the character he created that wasn't him, and he felt unknowable and unlovable. But the outward stuff that you're mentioning, there's plenty of evidence. Not just, I don't mean watching the films, because that wasn't him. I mean, it's well documented that he took the hand in the pocket from one particular actor. He took his style from Douglas Fairbanks. He took getting tan from a different actor who said he must always be brown, and he was so desperate to be liked and known and wanted and loved that he became whoever he thought anyone else needed him to be. And early on, it was his beauty. He was a male escort in New York, and so he developed a skill of making people love him and want him and admire him. And all of it was a mask. I mean, sure, he could do it. He could be effortless with it. For me, it was an effort, but I was aware I was taking on this character that the whole world, well, many people would have expectations of. So I thought if I got the outward stuff, just got the technical stuff out of the way, the walking and talking, the way he held himself, then I could focus on what really counted, which was this deeply damaged individual and how much hurt he could do to other people.
How much trepidation did you have about tackling this role? Because I know you are fearless in the roles that you tackle, but this one is, a little different.
Quite honestly, Debbie, and I don't know how profane your broadcast is, I completely shit myself. And I didn't want to take the job. I thought it was a poison chalice. And only when I read the script and realized that Jeff Pope, the brilliant writer, was documenting the inner life of Archie Leach and not the outer life of Cary Grant, did I think it was maybe worth a shot. But even so, when I took it on, the amount of work and research I did was driven mostly by the terror of knowing that half the known world was sharpening the knives already.
What kind of research did you do into this? Because
What research didn't I do? I mean, first of all, I read all the biographies, many of which are contradictory about certain parts of his life, but they're superbly researched and found sources that can't be denied. And then I read other people's biographies that overlapped, that mentioned encounters with Cary Grant. Then I read, obviously, Jennifer's book and Diane's book. I watched all the movies. They were useless, really, because the whole point is that was an avatar. The creature he created on screen was, in many ways, a shield, a defense, or a tool to make the world love him. So I was trying to find out who he really was. I read the minutes of business meetings from MGM and Fabergé and other accounts, personal accounts. I read an unpublished book by someone who claimed to have had an affair with him. And then I spoke at great length to Diane. Some length to Jennifer, but she has a very narrow picture of a thoroughly devoted father. But Diane was so brave and so unguarded, unboundaried, really, in the things that she allowed me to ask her and she told me about. And really, it was her account that empowered me. I felt, at least, I understood who he was and how he was, and the raging torrent inside him that made her life unlivable. I mean, she's now healed, and when you talk to Diane, if you talk to Diane, you'll hear someone with who wants to find the best and think the best of him and remind people he'd been kind too. But it's taken her decades to get to that place because he destroyed her. He sent her into an institution, much, of course, like his father sent his mother into. Yeah, I did every piece of research I could, and then, of course, you get on the set and you have to forget all that. Otherwise, you're just playing a fossil. And you have to go, who is this person opposite me? What do I feel in this moment? And trust that the work and the research you've done is bedded in somewhere as a foundation, and then just be spontaneous.
for you as an actor stepping into a role like this, and here peppered throughout the miniseries, we have all of these other famous people that are whose lives intersected: Grace Kelly, Audrey Hepburn, George Burns. Does it kind of give you pause as an actor yourself that maybe you're grabbing a little bit of history by this cross section of icons that appear?
Not really. I mean, the thing about acting, if you do it properly, and I try and do it properly, is you're only in the moment. You don't have any perspective on it. Now, a year later, I'm talking to you, and I watched it in front of an audience last night, and I can have some perspective on it. But in the moment, that's what acting's about. It's being present and able to to go with any instinct that comes. And I had some license to improvise this, so very often it felt like it was happening right there and then, because I could say whatever came into my head. And no, I didn't feel like I was putting down a piece of history. I felt like I was whatever was going on for him in the moment.
What was for you the most surprising thing that you learned about Cary Grant or Archie?
What I learned was that there was no Cary Grant. And it's something I recognize as an actor myself. I learned that he so successfully achieved what he set out to do, was to make himself beloved by everyone. And all it did was make him feel less lovable and more fake. And I guess it's a universal and timeless message that if you don't heal the wounds from your childhood, no matter how well you hide it from the world, they will always poison you.
What do you think the world will take away from seeing this portrayal? Besides the fact everybody should be lauding you with awards for this performance, come award season for this.
Well, first of all, what I do in it seems to be irrelevant. I'm trying to bring, it's very nice of you to say, and there's some part of me that likes flattery, of course, but I'm trying to tell a story of a man who the entire world worshipped for 30 years, men and women. Men wanted to be him, women wanted to be with him, and that this perfect life, by which so many people measured their own imperfect lives, was nothing like it. And so I hope people take away, obviously having been gripped for 4 hours and enjoyed something, but also the realization that all those other people whose lives seem perfect, that come through our phones today, and screens and magazines, are very likely the polar opposite of whatever we think they are, and that not to measure ourselves by anyone else's shiny outsides.
Jason, you have mesmerized me once again. I will admit to you, I binge watched all 4 episodes twice. I watched.
Oh my God!
Yes.
Oh my God! Debbie, we should be giving
I
Thank you so much.
watched all four, and then I started again, and I did them right in a row. So I watched 8 hours.
Oh my God.
Uh,
Well, thank you. I guess that's superb. Funny enough, we did a junket in England last week where I got to meet lots of journalists, and I've been doing this a long time. And some of the journalists are my friends, and they'll say one thing on camera or on microphone, and then they'll say another thing to me, honestly, off mic. And so many people said that they did the same thing. They binged all four. So there's clearly something about it that's Moorish that makes you want to go to the next chapter, which means that Jeff and Paul, the director, and the combination, I think the music's great too, they draw you in, and God knows, dark clouds are gathering, and the world is a very challenging place today. And it's great to be drawn into a story, because stories are places we feel safe.
and this one is a hell of a story, and I will be watching it yet again. So,
Thank you, Debbie. You'll be pumping up our viewing figures. I thank you for it.
well, that's what I'm here for, Jason. I got to keep you working.
Well, there's other stuff coming out. I look forward to talking to you about everything else coming out. You'll be sick of me by the end of the year, or next year.
Jason, I'm never sick of you. This is what our fourth, fifth interview we've done in the past few years. I never get sick of you. Never.
Good. I love the fact it's behind the lens, because so much our show, this Archie, is specifically about what happened behind the lens.
Yep.
Everyone knows what happened behind the lens. So you're the perfect person to talk to about it.
Oh, Jason, thank you so much. You have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful holiday until we speak again.
Thank you. Merry everything.